I do think one needs a healthy dose of realism. So this is a very, very tough disease to tackle. My name is Valerie Mizrahi. I'm the director of the Institute of Infectious Disease and Molecular Medicine at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. I work on tuberculosis. I run a research unit that studies fundamental aspects about the biology of the organism that causes TB. TB is a massive problem today. We are dealing globally with about 9 million new cases of tuberculosis every single year. And in addition to that, 1.7 million people die of TB each year. That's a person dying of TB every 20 seconds. So the global burden of tuberculosis is huge. It's actually restricted to 22 high-burden countries. South Africa has the unfortunate distinction of being number 3 in terms of high-burden countries. As if the problem of drug-susceptible TB weren't serious enough, superimposed on this problem is the resistance, which is emerging and spreading. So we now have drug-resistant TB to contend with as well. In the case of TB, we face very significant scientific obstacles that require an intense focus of energy on addressing core scientific problems that sit at the root of the difficulty of tackling this disease. For instance, we don't really understand the problem of latent TB infection. We know that about 1 in 3 people on this planet is infected with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, the TB bacterium. They all have a finite risk of developing disease, and yet we don't really have a good handle on where the bacteria are, what state those bacteria are residing in. We also don't have a good way of assessing, for instance, what it would mean for a vaccine to be efficacious. We don't have markers, indicators, biological indicators for vaccine efficacy. We don't have many of the markers that are necessary in order to test drugs effectively. We've only very recently, within the last year, had seen significant advances in the development of diagnostic tools that will enable us to rapidly assess whether a person has got TB or not. And is that TB drug resistant or not? We can't diagnose TB accurately in infants and in children and in people with HIV infection. So these are some of the major scientific challenges that we face that really require intensified effort in this area. I think that in certain parts of the world, we're well on track to achieving some of those goals. In Africa, we face, particularly Southern Africa, we face the critical problem of HIV and TB co-infection, which really is confounding to a large degree our ability to contain and to meet these kinds of goals. But again, we've seen very substantial gains that have been made in the last couple of years with major rollout of antiretroviral, really having a significant impact on the HIV epidemic. So one has to remain hopeful. I wouldn't be in this field if I wasn't hopeful and optimistic, but I do think one needs a healthy dose of realism. So this is a very, very tough disease to tackle.